Oh, guess it would help if I turn the microphone on. Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing? Hey, I'm gonna go over the 29th. I was looking over some things yesterday evening when I made that correction about the nighttime and all in the day, being 24 hours in a day from sunrise to the next sunrise. Excuse me. And so I was looking over the things. I want to make sure I'll go ahead and get these out, and then I can go ahead and get February's more in alignment. So anyway, I did get an interesting comment. Apparently somebody new to the channel said they really don't understand I'm trying to remember exactly what their comment was. Off the top of my head, it's kind of hard. Maybe I can do it this way. One second here. Y'all bear with me a minute. This one's it. No, Jesus, find it. Okay, here we go. It says, really don't get the chart. No idea what they mean for Virgo. No idea what it means for other signs. So I wrote a comment or reply to that, so I hope they check that out. Because what I'm getting here is kind of like what I'm asking this person is, apparently you're having difficulty understanding astrology. I tried to explain it the best I could. I mean, if you watch, I think in the beginning of one of the videos, maybe not the one that person particularly watched, but most astrologies, we don't have everybody's individual chart. And this is why you, as the person viewer, need to know your chart. You need to know what is in your birth chart. In order to get that birth chart, you have to know your place of birth and your time of birth, okay? In any astrologer or their sites you can go to, I believe I've got some places in the description below that you can go to and pull up your birth chart. If you don't understand it or still don't know how to do it, get with me and I'll get the information from you and I will go ahead and give you one. It's no big deal. But I try to explain it the best I can. When I'm doing the astrology, usually when I'm doing the tarot, okay, on the cards, I will look at the astrology for that particular sign, all right? They're general. Everybody needs to understand that. Anytime that astrology is being pulled up and looked at, we don't know your individual birth charts. We don't know where all the planets were at the time of your birth, okay? And you've got to understand that. The houses are there, but the astrology with the signs, they change. You're born under a sun sign. You have an ascending sign, meaning that, like for Aries right here, oh wait a minute, I don't have it there, but I'll go into, it's like Aries is always the first one of the zodiac, because that is from Aries to Gemini is spring. From Cancer to Virgo is summer. From Libra to Sagittarius is fall. And from Capricorn to Pisces is usually the winter. But these are seasons of our lives. Every life has a season to it. And each one of these seasons compose of 7 years of our lives. And every 7 years, that's why there was the saying that came out that there's like the 7-year itch. or there's a 7-year change, and if people change every 7 years, of course, because beginning at the time of your chart, when you're born, you just were born. You're at 0. You don't have an age yet. So from that first time of when you're born to those 3 first signs, or those first season, is 0 to 7. Understand? That's 7 years of your life. Then from the next one is from 7 years or 8 years to 14 years of your life. Every 7 years. So I know a lot of people don't understand that, and it's okay. You don't have to grasp it all. But the thing of it is, when I do the astrology, it is to give you some ideal, and if you know your chart, which some of y'all do quite well, you can put that sign in the first house. And then look at your chart and those planets and compare them to where they are now. And what houses they're sitting in, or what signs they're sitting in, and what houses they're in. But when I do the tarot, then I will turn to that sign, okay? Like if I'm doing Virgo, then I'm going to put Virgo in the first house. And from there, I will know from there all the way around, like for Virgo, the 7th house for Virgo is going to be Pisces. So I will look at that and I will see where those planets are at that time. But for these on a daily basis, these are collective for everyone. And I kind of want to get that across. I don't want anybody to get real confused about it. But trust me, when it gets to where I start doing the tarot readings, I will turn the dial onto that sign. Whether it's Taurus, it'll be in the first house. Virgo, first house. Capricorn, first house. And you will be able to understand a little bit better. Okay? So it's like for the collective, what we see for the collective at this time, right now, what is going on in those aspects and where they may be. I know it can be confusing. All right? But what I want to say is, like Virgo, let me go ahead and go over the chart. Let's get started. Unless maybe this will help some. Okay, I'm doing the 29th. Again, I will say, the day begins when the sun rises. A planet rules a day, every day. Like the sun rules Sunday. The moon rules Monday. Mars rules Tuesday. Mercury rules Wednesday. Jupiter rules Thursday. Venus rules Friday. And Saturn rules Saturday. That's where you get the thing of Monday's child, Tuesday's child, Wednesday's child, and so on. Okay? If you're born on that particular day, all right, you're kind of ruled by that rulership of the day, meaning from the time that the sun rises that morning, that planet is going to rule that day. So you can mark those down. Like I said, Monday is ruled by Sunday's ruled by the sun. Monday's ruled by the moon. Tuesday's ruled by Mars. Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. Thursday is ruled by Jupiter. Friday is ruled by Venus. Saturday is ruled by Saturn. Now, with that being said, the night has a rulership too. When it's night. Surprise! And it's not the same as the one that rules the whole complete 24 hours. It just rules 12 hours of that day, along with the ruler of the day. Okie dokie? So, and then there's an hour. Each, planets will rule certain hours of the day as time goes on during the day, during that 24 hours. And I know that it kind of confuses everybody, but I want you to, I'm trying to let you learn something here. that can help, because say the moon is the fastest moving of anything, right? And you wonder why in the morning you get up, you feel one way. 2 hours later, you might feel something totally different. Or by that next movement, a couple of days later, you may not feel the same anymore. Why is my emotions intense on this day, but on this day it's not? It's because of what the moon is going through. Remember, the moon is our emotions. It rules our emotions. Just like it rules the tides that go in and out. Tide comes in, tide goes out every single day. And as the moon rises, the tide comes in. As the moon descends, the tide goes out. And that's why it has an importance, because we are made up of 90% of water in our body. And so the moon is ruling our emotions, our heart. So each thing is a little bit different. And I know it's kind of hard to grasp, but you've got to sometimes think of it in associations ways, instead of just saying, "Oh, okay, that's my emotions," blah blah blah. But this is really a good idea. Now, the nodes are where they're attached to the moon. They're lunar nodes. That means that there's a point or position in the sky. You can't see them, but they're attached to that lunar node or to the moon of where its position is for 18 months, during a sort of a cycle of 18 months. And South Node will be in a sign, North Node will be in the sign. South Node is known as the past, things we know, habits maybe we have, or things we've done, because the future is not known. And that's the North Node, that's the head. Not everybody knows what you're thinking. They can see what you're doing by your past actions. They can get some kind of ideal where you're at emotionally, or what you may be capable of doing. And sometimes we pay karma from that South Node because of what we've done. But as far as the head is concerned, we don't know. We don't know where your head is at all the time. We don't know where your thinking is, because a lot of people don't tell everything that they're thinking and what their thoughts are. And usually the thoughts sometimes are often ruled by the moon, by our emotions. Okay? Because the heart and the head can be a disassociation. And that's why I hate I hate to say it, but that's why I hate text messages. You don't get the full grasp of when you're talking to somebody like you would in person, face to face, you're talking to them, or you're on the phone and their voice kind of raises, or they kind of say things in a certain way, and you can kind of pick up the emotions that are going on. That's why I don't like text messages. I mean, if it's something simple question like I'm on my way, just something simple, but try and have a conversation through a text message, it leaves everything so open to interpretation, because you don't know what that person's thinking. You don't know what they're feeling. That's, people, that's why people used to write letters, and they could express their feelings through the words and they write them. They had to. Nowadays, they don't do that. It's just a little icon, like a poopy thing, or a, mind thing, I'm thinking, or something like that, That's why these things came about, because you can't, in a text, feel the feeling. And I hate them. I hate texts. Don't even want to go there. Anyway, so let's look at the 29th and see what is going on today. Now, I didn't move these. I did move some of the others. I thought I had moved them, but I didn't. Let me do one little thing here, because overnight, at 2:33. Remember, these are my times, Eastern Standard Time, so you're going to have to adjust your time accordingly. I'm on the East Coast, so these are Eastern Standard Times. And this is like at 2:33 in the morning. We do have the moon in Virgo at this time, and it is in a quincunx with the North Node. So a quincunx or an inconjunct, it's referred to either way. The moon being in Virgo, and it's in a void of course. Now, a void of course is where you're trying to maybe do something here, and you may succeed, but then again, you may not. Now, remember, this is right after the full moon as well, out of Leo. So, this is where that energy begins to dissipate, that intensity coming out of Leo. So, with the void of course is where you're trying to do something here. Like I said, you may succeed at it. And with the moon being in Virgo, it's usually having to do with small animals. It's having to do with employees or co-workers. It's your daily routines, that you're trying to get done. And with the moon being in the void of course and your emotions still kind of up from the full moon, you may succeed and you may not. But while you're trying to do something here and make some sort of adjustment for the future, because really, the North Node is where we're always supposed to be headed, our future, planning for our future. And I hate to be around people that they just live by the moment. I can't deal with people like that. No, you don't know. But I don't know what people use. I hate those words. Like, okay, all right, those sort of things. Anyway, but as you can see here, the moon is in this quincunx or in conjunct with the North Node. So it's something you want to achieve for the future if you're one person who plans for the future. Now, with what you're feeling now, after going through those aspects while the moon was in Leo, you're trying to make something here, some sort of adjustment in some way, because you're being, quincunxes or inconjuncts are very difficult aspects, energy. And these two energies, the North Node, the future, is you just don't know about the future. And, you'll hear psychics all the time and that sort of thing. Believe what you want to believe. I don't tell anybody what to believe. But I don't know what my future is going to be. I leave my future in the hands of God and what path He's trying to lead me down. And I have discussions with Him. Lord, I don't understand where you're taking me, but I'm whatever it may be, I'll be okay, because I know I'm going in your direction. I hope. Please lead me right. Give me the light where I can follow it, like the hermit, because the hermit follows the light. It looks for the star. It looks for its path. It looks for its direction. So with this energy, and the main thing being that the moon is in this inconjunct quincunx with the North Node, you want to have some success. 17 is a number of representations. Now, a lot of people, they just say 17 degrees or whatever. But I look at a lot of biblical coding. And to me, 17 is a number for victory. And again, if the moon is in the void, like I told you, it's just starting at that time in the void. something you were trying to accomplish. This could be on the other side of the world, or several hours behind me, several hours ahead of me. There's something, in the world where people are trying to be successful at something, getting something done for their future. And they're having to make adjustments at this moment in time for some reason, either in their daily routines where it's difficult and the energies just doesn't seem like anything's working for the future or it's going anywhere. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, things just don't seem like they're moving. Well, you're right. They're not moving quickly because we've been dealing with a lot of the outer planets going from Jupiter all the way through to Pluto that was retrograde. And they're now all of a sudden starting to go direct. And as the inner planets come into contact with them, it's going to have an impact because we are moving forward. It just doesn't feel like it. It's like that. I explained this several times. It's like a train going down the track, and the train just doesn't. They just don't release the brake, and it just starts going. I mean, it'll inch slowly because it's pulling the other cars. It's pulling all the other stuff behind it. So kind of look at it that way. It has to get up steam to get moving. And when we got Uranus right now, that's sitting there stationary, as you can see right here, it's not moving, but it's building up energy. When a planet goes into a stationary position, it's really getting intense. It's building up the energy to move. And whatever it's going to do here, it has an impact from something of the past. Whatever it was in that south node right now, that with it being retrograde, because they go forward and then they go backward, often. So, because the moon can't go retrograde, so the nodes do it. There's forward movement and backward movement, where we done something or felt something, and then we reassess those feelings, right? So why is with the nodes being in retrograde right at this moment, we're kind of reassessing what we felt, maybe what we've done in the past. Why did we put our hand on a stove and it was hot? How stupid can you be, right? I mean, I've done that before. I've grabbed a pot lid and think, knowing that pot lid's going to be hot, why didn't I get the pot holder? You dummy. I talk with myself a lot about it, things that I do, and I have to laugh at myself. I always have. I've looked at the humor in myself, the things that I did, and I'm thinking, why did you do that? And it's okay. I mean, if you can't laugh at yourself, how can you laugh at anything else in the world that's going on? I mean, you got to see the humor in some things, and that's where comedians come in at. They look at things on the humorous side. But right now, with this energy with Uranus here, stationary, it's building up the energy. And it's in a quincunx or in conjunct with the south node. That these two, something emotionally that we felt in the past, or we did something in the past, emotional wise, that we're wondering, why did we do that? Or something we did, what we did, and it caused something that was not good in our life, and it created karma. And now we're having to face that in relationship, because that's more or less where the oppositions come in, because of the opposing energies. We have an opposing energy, and then we have energies that just don't get along at all. But there's got to be a decision made, one side or the other, to make some sort of adjustment, a compromise. And this is where we get along with society and other people. We're not all going to agree every time. We all don't think alike. We all don't feel the same way. And if you can't compromise with other people and make some sort of adjustments, what the hell? You can't rule everything. You can't get everything the way you want it. You just can't go out there and do what you want to do without some consequences to your actions. There's always consequences, like touching the hot stove, you're going to get burnt. Right? So, right now, there's something of reassessing and looking at with that sudden change. And usually what Uranus brings is unexpected. It shakes us. It's like standing on the ground and an earthquake happens and you're like, what was that? You weren't expecting it. So whatever it is, it's going to bring in something that's unexpected. And it's going to shake you to get you to see something here about maybe what you did when you felt a certain way. And it's like, why did I do that? Boy, I was dumb when I done that. You ever went out with somebody or dated somebody or said, yeah, I'll go out with you. And you go out with them and it just like later on you're like, why did I go out with that person? Why did I pick up the phone? Why did I say yes? You see where I'm going here? So it's that sort of energy that is just totally unexpected with Uranus. So anything with Uranus is like, expect the unexpected and hope for the best. And right now with that South Node being in retrograde and with the moon divided by our future, is, whatever's going on here, there is a decision that you have to have the courage to make at this point in your life, Virgos, especially Virgos right at that time, because the MC or the M heaven, which is as above, so below. You got the MC above, you got the IC below. As above, so below. In other words, it's kind of like what's in the chart or what's in the stars will be here on Earth. It will be in your foundation. You may not see it now, but at some certain point, you're going to see it. That's like if you say the MC's up there and you're going to college, and you got to make that choice. You got to make a decision. Again, let's say it's MC is sitting here next to the moon, and you're deciding, am I going to go to work in the morning? Or I got to deal with these employees. I got to schedule things. I got to do this or I got to do that. Or I got some duties I got to do. Am I going to do this or am I going to do that? Right? Because Virgo is about the daily work. It's searching out what needs to be done. Because Virgo is ruled by the Hermit. All right? For its sign, it's known as the Hermit, the internal, the introverted person. Because a lot of Virgos are not external people. A lot of people say Virgos are kind of non-sociable. Well, not really. They're just very cautious to who they associate with. They got to get to know somebody. They're kind of standoffish. They walk into a room and they look around and they see what's going on and, well, do I really want to be here or do I need to move on? Do I put my input into the conversation? They will graduate toward what they know. Like I've had a lot of people say to me, when I first met you, I thought, God, you had this mean look on your face. You must be an awfully mean person. No, I just have things on my mind. Sorry, didn't mean to give that impression, but that's how somebody else would interpret me. And usually what that deals with is the ascending, in other words, what people pick up on you that you display out to others. Like my ascending is Leo. I can be very fiery. I can be very romantic. I can be very loving. But I don't show that to everybody. I can be very intense in my relationships with people because I care about people. I have a very empathic feeling toward other people, but I have to get to know them first. I'm kind of the one that walks in the room and I survey the room and I look around and I see who all's here. Do I know anybody? Nah, maybe not. So I'm kind of standoffish. Somebody approaches me, I don't stop them. I listen to them. I have a conversation. I don't maybe talk a whole lot because I'm sometimes a lot, right now when I'm doing this is different. But y'all would think, God, you're a quiet person? Yeah, I'm a quiet person. I'm a shy person. Believe it or not. But, I will communicate with others, but I'm going to be more listening. I'm more of a listener than a person that will just go up and approach somebody. I'm an introverted person. So with introverted persons, don't downcast them because you really don't know that person and really what's going on with inside of them and why they're resistant to it. Don't just take what you see on the outside and say, well, that person's hateful. Not really. They're just maybe got something on their mind. Maybe they're feeling a certain way. Maybe they're working through something in their life and they're just don't want to be around people. It's okay. If they don't want to be around, that doesn't mean they're a horrible person. They just kind of go within. They need to. And this usually happens a lot with mutable signs. Because you're Gemini, you're Virgo, you're Sagittarius, you're Pisces. These are mutable signs. They just kind of somewhat go within and deal with things until they can kind of sort it out because they're survivalists. So, with that being said, with this moon being in a quincunx with the North Node that is retrograde in Virgo late last night at 2:33 in the morning, they're wanting maybe some expansion and growth. Maybe they've got plans. Maybe there's something they were planning out, sorting out, or whatever, wherever Virgo may be in your chart. This may not, for some of you, may not impact you, but it's your daily, everybody's got daily duties and routines to do. It's just maybe different for you than it is for me. And planning out that day, what is the best way to go about it? If something comes up, then you got to make some adjustments. But remember the moon being in a void, of course, always. Whatever you're trying to get done, nothing can come against you during that time. In other words, you're going to be so into what you're doing that I don't think you're going to really pay, like, if you're anything like me, you don't pay much attention to what's going on around outside of you. So you're looking busy, you're doing something here, you're getting something done, or you're just not out there. And so nobody can come against whatever your plans are or whatever you're doing that you want to work on or you want to get done. So you're just taking care of something that needs to be done. And maybe even taking care of yourself. Because we do have Chiron conjunct with the North Node. And Chiron is about healing thyself, working on you. You're doing something for yourself. You're either eating healthier, because Virgo is a lot about diet. You could be thinking about exercise programs, something you're thinking about yourself that you want to work on. And this is a good time when a Virgo would go internally when they're working on themselves. And So it wouldn't be a good time to approach a Virgo because they're not going to probably pay much attention to you anyway. But this is where that would be somewhere in your chart where you have Virgo. And if Virgo is your moon. And there's also the quincunx with the midheaven to the sun. So there is a focus there with where you are at this point in your life. That you want to focus on something. I mean, I've been doing it in my own self with making plans of what I'm going to do. There's some things I need to research, some things I need to go. And I'm a big researcher, and all Virgos I know will look at all the details. You know, they'll look at the big picture of what they want to do, and then all of a sudden start picking the details, what I got to do here, you know, the steps and plans that they need to go. They are so structured oriented. Sometimes it can be annoying to others, but it's kind of like an engineer. You know, when an engineer starts something, they start with the foundation. If you're going to build something, then you've got to look at the foundation. Is it on solid ground? Step one, making that foundation solid, making it healthy. And you should usually with the body, you know, with yourself, because of Chiron being in the first house. Yeah, I am. I want a healthy future. I want a stable future. And with Virgo being in the first house, for you guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, your foundation is Sagittarius. You will adapt in some way or seek out what you need or what you desire. You will research, because Sagittarius is a research sign. You will trust in faith and religion above everything else. And you will explore possibilities. Because again, you're relying on that part of Sagittarius, which is a mutable sign as well. And there's a lot here I see, especially with Virgos. I'm not singling out Virgos, but where there is with the mutable signs right now, and where you're going to devote your time to. And maybe before you had these goals and plans you were going to do, something has probably come about that where all of us, things have changed. And they're going to be changing, and they're going to be big, swift changes that's going to be coming with this. So let's look over at what this, I'm not going to go, well, I'm not going to do it now. But I know you're moving towards something. There are challenges you're going to have to deal with. You knew that. You want to work at the best possible way to achieve something here. And be open in some way to find those resources. What is the best resources? Because we do have a grand trine here. We have, which I'll point it out to you, that goes to Venus coming off of Jupiter. You do want, right now, you're looking at something expansion, opening up emotionally, looking what maybe in resources that you may need, setting the foundation, I feel like really is what's going on here. What are the best? Trines are good. You know, you just go with different options and looking at what is the best way to be open to that. And it's dealing with Venus, and it has a lot to do with love. You want to expand in those emotions. You know, open. Some of y'all, a lot of y'all, you know, a lot of people right now have kind of shut down their hearts. I saw something yesterday about a woman. She just found out after 25 years of marriage that she found out her husband was cheating on her. He'd been having an affair for 2 years with somebody. Bless her heart, I know what she feels like. Okay. And she's just starting to go through the process. She found out in 2022, and it just destroyed her. She thought she had this wonderful husband and family, and only to find out it was all a lie. So, it's hard. And then we have another grand trine that's going on here that has to do with this energy building up with something coming up unexpected. Now, look what it's connecting to. It's connecting from the moon to Uranus to Mars conjunct with Mercury. So expect something unexpected when Uranus begins to move, which will be on January the 30th. It will begin to move. Expect the unexpected. Okay? I'm going to pre-warn you about that now. And you may have to make some adjustments here. Because things may be shook up. Like I said, that woman's just finding out what's going on with her. And I'm getting a ringing in my left ear. I haven't had that in a long, long time. And usually it's like when I notice it, and it's like, okay, what is it? And it just kind of starts to fade away. A lot of people would call that downloads. Then we have also with this triangle in between back and forth, as you can see here, it's like Mercury there, then it goes to Mars, and then it goes to Jupiter. It's big emphasis with Jupiter, expansion, growth, rewards. So some of y'all can expect some really wonderful things coming, and others are going to be dealing with some sort of, even at that, something really, really good coming. But there's also the challenge here because of something from the past. May have to do with something from the past. And challenges are where there are lessons that need to be learned. And this is where we deal with the squares, which we do have a couple of them here. Okay. And both of these are dealing with Mercury and Mars. And one's dealing with Chiron. Both dealing with Chiron, the help of something here from the past. And Mars, are your plans good? Are the actions you're going to take good? We don't know. We'll see. But you want to get healthy. In this. And like I said, for each of you differently, hopefully you can go back on this when I start doing February's, when I start doing February's readings, and you can use the reading for the month to look back while I'm doing the astrology, that I can say on this day, this. And then go back and look at the tarot where I'm calling out planets or signs, and this action's happening, or this is what's being communicated, or this is that. And you can associate that with what's going on. Because I read for myself daily and monthly to see, what might be out there, what might be happening, what planet's going to impact me the most that day. What house is it, that sign is in that house of mine. And I look at it like that. We also know that we have a sail here. All right. And a sail is like, it's either called a sail or a kite. Okay. It kind of looks like a kite. And it's made up of a trine. All right. And it's dealing with this midheaven, where things are right now, where the moon is sitting now, where you are in life at this moment in time, at 2 in the morning. And we also have a sextile here from Saturn. Saturn is the point of where we are right now. That, like I said, I was going to say something about, well, something may be going on that you're going to think, well, am I going to go to work tomorrow? Or is something here, I got to do something, take care of something tomorrow. You're kind of maybe pre-planning something that you want to get done today. And how is it going to move forward? What adjustments I might have to make? What am I going to run into? You know, like me, sometimes I activate my mind or whatever, and like before I start, I'll say, okay, let me call my mom, and see how she's doing, what's going on. So then, I'm not getting interrupted, and whatever she might need taken care of, I can do that at that time. So this kind of pre-planning is what it is. And when we're talking about sextiles, we're talking about opportunities for productivity and success. Now, remember what I said, the void of course, the moon is in that point right then, that it is, you're wanting to have some sort of success. So you're planning ahead and you want to be productive. But in order to do so, what do? You got to activate your mind, and you got to plan. And you got to communicate with yourself or maybe someone else, but that you got to get this done. But also what's here is important in this kite. It's not going to go so smoothly, because what do we have right here going to Saturn? We have an opposition. And an opposition deals with the capacity for awareness and objectivity, to look beyond. And Pisces known as that different perspective of something, of the other side, or what we care about. Because Pisces is, that 12th house is about that we care. We care about what we're doing. We believe in something here. So we may have to look at something from another point of view here about what we may have to work toward. Y'all give me a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Now, also, I want to say, at this time, I don't know about a lot of y'all, but I've been waking up a lot between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Varies. Anymore, it just seems like I never get a good full night's sleep. So I'm being awakened for a reason. And I know I am, but I don't know what it is. But something is waking me during the night. Could be something about my health. I don't know. Maybe I need to go for another sleep study. Don't have any idea. But there's something here that there is, that, like I said, that opposition, as you can see it, where maybe even the mind gets even activated for some reason, and it causes a disruption in the sleep process. You don't get it into that deep sleep. So something is disrupted here, but there's an opposition to this, and usually with the mind, you've got to activate it and think, okay, what is it? Now, we know that Jupiter and Venus is something about growth and expansion. So usually it could be something maybe that you need to open up your heart to. Maybe the capacity to feel, or your values, or what is it you need from another person? Because Venus is all about the capacity to love, and it's about your values versus someone else's. And the sign shows your attitude. Now, with Venus being in Capricorn for people, it'd be the 10th house for Aries. Like I said, you could go around the chart, and when I go into it and do the readings for February, you'll know. These two cosmic lovers are going to come together, which is Mars and Venus, in February at the new moon. And so they're going to be coming together, or you're going to meet someone new. And, I'm open to it. I'm single. I'm an old bird, but I'm not a bad looker. I have a sense of humor. I got a good outlook in life. I want to achieve and accomplish things. So, I'm up to it, meeting new people. And it's about time for me to start getting out into the world again. I know that. I just don't know where, what's on the horizon for me. And the house shows you what you value here most, and you attract to yourself. So there's something here with Venus being in this house of resources, education, your reputation. You got to be, a lot of people are really cautious about their reputation. And it's linked to linked to Jupiter here. So both of them are at 7 degrees. And 7 degrees for me is that spirituality. You're thinking of something here about opening your heart and beginning to communicate with others and expressing something of your faith and your values and where to locate resources that maybe can help you expand and grow. And meeting new people would be wonderful with this, that has spiritual likeness as well, that can help you to not limit yourself to just doing one way. You can get a better perspective from others. So this, could be really what's going on early in the morning hours. Then we can go at this next one with the moon still being in Virgo. All right. This is like at 3:54 in the morning. Again, my time. You can see it here. Where it's, the time right here, 3 a.m., almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And I was up and down last night, thinking about this. But we have Virgo in that trine to Mars in Capricorn now. And there's a T-square there. So there's something still with this squares to deal. They're like building blocks or stumbling blocks. But it's up to you how you handle the squares. It shows what you're like on the inside. So whatever adversity or where you're stumbling or where you're going or whatever it is, it's the past and the future. Because these two are in opposition to one another. They always are. You could be reassessing something here. Maybe where your health or your actions or your thinking, your thoughts, you want to free yourself maybe in some way, because Mars, is that where we want to take some sort of action. And some sort of healing, thinking more healthier, more positive, looking to things more positively. Again, the T-square with Mars. What can I do to improve things for myself in that sort of way? And we have the Grand Trines, which again is being affected by the energy of Uranus. So internally, there's something that is like Uranus is that god of air. It's electrifying. It deals with the nervous system. And remember, the mind is all electricity. It's energy that passes. It's like a superhighway going fast. Usually when they do sleep studies, they count the eye blinks, how active your mind is. And that could be, disruptive in your sleep. Are you getting enough oxygen? And these sort of things. What is it that maybe it's something of a dream you're having, a vision you may be having. God talks to us a lot in our dreams. And we get messages in those dreams. Remember Daniel in scripture, it says, he would pray to God about a dream. And what it was, because he was service to the king of Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. So he was always asked, I'm having these dreams. What does it mean? And he was the seer. We hear a lot today people talking about being seers. And so I've had my dreams myself. Like I said in another previous video, I dreamed that I was walking on this path in nature, and all of a sudden I saw things move, and I looked on these mounds, and it was snakes everywhere. I mean, I was just like walking right through them, and I felt one bite my left hand 3 different times. I got bit, and 3's the number for me. There's something here about that 3. Things come to me in 3s. And so, it's like, okay, I, have thought about that. Sometimes, Freud was a big believer of snakes being something sexual. Well, I don't think that way. But, he based a lot of stuff on sex. I mean, I think the man was crazy. I think he was a sex fanatic. He looked kind of weird. But anyway, but it's Uranus is that electrifying energy. And something here in our emotions was getting charged up in our heart. Maybe they're, I don't know. Some people in their health, they have sleep apnea and they have trouble sleeping and those sort of, things that wake them up because of their breathing. They stop breathing. I know I do it sometimes. I do stop breathing during the night at times. And it, something is a shock to the body, the nervous system, that will kick in and make, someone start breathing again. But there's something here with the apex in this trian that has to deal with the mind and with Mars. So this energy is building up. And it's good energy, to really tell you the truth. It's really a good energy for you. And we also have it with, with Mercury and Mars. This trine is good. It's like getting yourself prepared, or the body getting itself prepared, and your heart prepared for something that is to come, that is going to shock you. It's going to come out of nowhere. So it's like almost like the universe preparing you for something what is to come that's going to shock you. But it may not be what you expect, but it'll be something here. And it may have something to do with, we don't have a complete square here, but we do have a square that's running from Neptune to Vista, which is what we devote ourselves to. Our devotion to a goal, a plan, a project, or a belief system, or people, where we devote ourselves in those visions that we have, dreams. Neptune being, remember also that Neptune is like that big gas ball, but it's where your spiritual vision, your creative imagination, and your psychic ability lead you beyond what of this materialistic world. So something in the universe is taking you beyond something here, but there's a challenge. Something's blocking it for you to be able to receive it. And this is maybe where you have to do some work on your spirituality. For an earth sign, you would need to get out in nature. For a water sign, you would need to get into water. For an air sign, you would need to get out and to breathe in the air. Sun signs, you would need to, not sun signs, but fire signs, you will need to get into the sun, the passion, the desire, the motivation. You need that motivation. So, I understand where a lot of times, like I said, I'm a Virgo sun, but I'm a Leo ascending. And my moon is Scorpio. So I have that little bit of, that Mars rules Scorpio, but so does Pluto. So I've been going through a transformation in my life now for years. Starting somewhere back in 2010. My life, I knew, was changing. I knew something was up, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And I knew something was coming. Still couldn't put my finger on it. And it was until I got the shock of my life, like this woman did, that opened my eyes, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What the hell? Where's this coming from? That's what Uranus does. That's what Pluto does. And it takes whatever your spiritual belief is to awaken you that, hey, this is happening. And what I'm seeing that's setting up here is that same thing I was seeing the other day that's coming. See the square here from Neptune to Vesta? And then we have the square to the moon? And then we have the square here to the ascending? Well, that square is going to come right back to Neptune. And it's like it's preparing you for something of what I was showing you with those squares that was happening. And this morning, I've got to say, I saw it at 9 something this morning. See? See what's going on here? You see now where it's the ascending over to Neptune? And it was setting it up again. I'm telling you, there is evil out there in this world that is trying to stop us from being spiritual beings, that does not want us to succeed in whatever we're doing. And we've got to change our thought processes and activate it and just say, I'm not going to listen to you. Remember the moon as before? Okay, let's look at this again. You see this here, right? Now, watch when I go back to that earlier time. See where it was with the ascending? It was Neptune. I told you it was going to come back around. And it went like it did the other day. And see, there it is. And those squares are real strong. We do have a couple grand trions here. Again, that's preparing you for something here that's going to be life altering and changing after January the 30th. So get ready, because you think things aren't moving now. Watch what's fixing to happen. Because we do have these T-squares. South node, Chiron. North node, midheaven. Midheaven, Chiron. Mercury all the way down the line. Then we got Mars all the way down the line. It's affecting Mars. It's getting us thinking. It's planning, working, activation, getting you ready. You better get prepared. That's all I got to say. Get prepared for what you don't realize what's fixing to come. And we all need to wake up to see what is fixing to happen. Now, the sun has not risen yet at this time when I'm looking at this. But we still have now the T-squares where it was up here And it was facing, this energy, which is still there, all right, with that Mars and Mercury. But it's thrown another one in the mix that has to do with getting prepared. Whatever you're going to start this day on, like myself, get prepared. Because emotionally, you're going to want to create something here. You've got a vision. What are you going to dedicate yourself to? What are you going to devote yourself to in this vision? What are you going to dedicate yourself to in this future? Whether it be a plan, an aspiration you have, a goal you want to achieve, where you're going to devote yourself to a cause, a project, a person, or even a belief system that's so sacred to you that you want to do it. I know I've got plans, but I'm doing it in baby steps. I have to do a little research first. I can't just go jump in and go do it, right? So I'm getting this plan together of what I'm going to do. It's going to be a short-term plan. I don't plan on it being very long, maybe a couple of years or so of doing this. And I am going to, I'm not going to put my plan out there to anybody, okay? I'm not going to do it. Because there's too many people out there that would love to destroy my plans. And I just don't want to go there. But I do have a plan. It's a short-term plan. I would say short-term plans anywhere from 2 to 3 years. Long-term plans are maybe a little 5. You're working towards the 5 years. So whatever I do in the 2 to 3 years is going to begin to help me in the 5th year that I'm able to really do what I want for the long term. Okay? So I'm looking at things, and I've got a plan I want to do here now, and so now I'm going to be devoting myself to doing the research that I need to do to see where I want to go. Now, the sun is here at 9, all right, which 9 is to me is the Holy Spirit, but it's something of a soul purpose. Something in our soul where there's a purpose now. That with it being in Venus, and Venus being the biggest influence here, is open my heart up to the expansion and the growth and the rewards of what's going to come, to receive those rewards and count my blessings every day. And that's what we need to do, is to thank God for all the blessings we receive every day. Because He never falters. He never fails us. He's always there. And so to have that purpose in life, that's what we're supposed to have. We're not here on this earth just to gain resources, because you can't take it with you when you leave here, right? So enjoy, have that purpose in life that you want to do. And in a way, this is sort of a reminder of that soul purpose you should be having at this time in your life. What do you desire? Because remember, this sun is in a square to the midheaven in Scorpio. What action you're going to take. Remember, Mars, and along with Pluto, rules Scorpio. What is it you truly desire now to build and create? You're going to shake the world up. You're going to really do something here. You're ready. But you got to get your plan together. Because expansion, and growth doesn't come by you just not doing anything. You got to do something here. And you got to activate your mind to activate your body. And you got to have a soul purpose. And I know what mine is. I just got to do a little research. And that's what I've been doing. Now, also, I told y'all about the mystic rectangle. Well, between 6:37 this morning and around 9:23, that big long thing of T-squares and mystic rectangle, it came again. And so something was going on, and I called it Satan's rectangle, but it's not called Satan's rectangle. If you look up online, there's a reference that it's Lucifer's rectangle. Now, Lucifer's still Satan. It's the mystic, what you can't see. Remember, sometimes there's an illusion, or Satan will tempt us during the time of the day or at night to illusions, a promise. Follow me and do this and do that. You know, thieves go out at night, right, in the dark. They're being influenced in that mystical rectangle to go out in the dark and steal, rob, do bad things. Because there's really nothing good going on after midnight, right? It's like the devil's playground. But here, we see that there is an opposition here in this rectangle, or in this trine here with Neptune. There is this opposition to get a better perspective of something at this time, at 10:59, right at 11 o'clock. And from this time on during the day, we're going to see where the stumbling blocks are, what are the challenges here that's going on, and you're probably working on it today. Overcoming something here from the past to make something better for the future. But what is that goal and vision you want to dedicate yourself to? You may have to make some adjustments here for things to go smoothly. When, after the 30th, things starts moving forward. Because there's something coming. There's definitely something coming. And it's going to be good. For if you've been, putting a lot of work in your life and healing yourself, you can't go around with wounds and think everything is going to go great. Why? Why is it? If you're all wounded and you're all hurting and you're licking your wounds and you're playing victim, you say, well, nothing goes right in my life. Everything goes wrong. Moo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Well, if you sit around playing the victim, what is that? That is negativity thinking. So there's nothing good going to come when you're sitting there thinking negative all the time. You've got to have a positive outlook. And a lot of people just can't see the positive outlook in things. They look at where their life is right now. My life is so shitty, so much going wrong. And that's why I love that woman's video that she did in a 7-parter. But it was like, she was going to handle this in a way that was like positive. I mean, she sounded a lot like me. A lot like me. Like, likes to help people, likes to do what she can for people that she cares about. She wants to see everybody succeed. And she wants to have that. She really cares about her family and all this other. And then all of a sudden be hit like this. She's like, okay, you wanna fall low? You wanna go low? I mean, she's gonna go lower. She's gonna, But I would like to say to her, really, I say, yeah, we can always go lower. But to me, vengeance is not mine, saith the Lord. And so I put it in his hands. Because like I always tell my mother, I cannot do anything to anyone that will hurt them as bad as what God is going to do to them. Because I am a child of God. I gave my heart over to God a long time ago. And I am a woman, like I said, that seeks the heart of God. And to glorify him, he glorifies me. And that's the way I look at it. So there's nothing I can do to anybody, or do I intend to do to anybody, because I can't do anything to them of what God's going to do to them. You don't mess with the child of God and think that your Satanistic or Lucifer ways of what you do to them, that God's going to let you get away with it. You might think you're getting away with it. And I would like to tell that woman, her husband might think he's getting away with what he's doing, playing in Lucifer's playground. But boy, if she says she's a woman of God, if she clings to God and leaves that vengeance to him, she's going to come out way on top. Because you don't mess with the child of God. You don't. You don't mess with the one that God is bestowing blessings upon. And think you're going to steal their blessings. You can't do that. God will take that, what you try to take or steal, and God will give double back to that person that you stole from. That's the way it works. When you have faith and you believe. Now, you know, I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm not trying to convert anybody by no means. You believe what you want to believe. If you're an atheist, fine. I'm not trying to convert you. This is just me and who I am and what experiences and miracles I have seen in my life and how God talks to me. Because I'm telling y'all, there's a lot of things that I've done that I could not have done on my own. It had to have been an absolute miracle by God. And so, that's what I say. Trust in that. Because it's opposition with whatever your vision is or whatever your dream is. Yes, you're going to have to work. Yes, you're going to have to take the steps. Yes, I'm going to have to do the research. I'm going to have to look for this, and I'm going to have to do this. But all the other stuff that's out of my control, that I'm not capable of doing, I put that in God's hands. He'll give me what I need. He'll take me back to my roots, to where I want to go and what I want to do, because I talk it over with Him. Lord, this is what I want to do. I made a promise to Him years ago. And now it's time to start working on that plan. Things are going to start falling in place this year. Time for me to start moving, start being activated, start doing what I need to do to keep my word to Him, to glorify Him. And then thus, He will glorify me. Same thing here. How you meet these challenges, how you meet these squares, determines what you're like on the inside. I know I'm a strong person. And I know a couple of times in my life I have been brought down to my knees. And I mean literally brought to my knees. And the good Lord picked me up, dusted me off, and says, I got you. You're going to be A-okay. And He did. I mean, I'm telling y'all, if you could walk in my shoes, that's why I said, no one can walk in my shoes. And probably, you'd had to have been an awful strong person to have been down the path I've been down. And had the strength to stand back up and say, nope, I'm going to stick in this fight. I'm not going to let it defeat me. And I have a purpose and I have a goal. And it's going to take me a couple of years, but that's okay, because I'm doing it by myself. And that's fine. But it will be my goal. It will be my vision. And I'm going to work through it. Now, what is your goal, your vision, and what it is that you want for the future? And I know a lot of you are going to say, I want love. How much love are you giving to yourself that you will be able to receive, that you display that out there, that I love me? And by loving yourself, that is illuminated out there in this world. And you're going to be a light, a beacon that's going to attract that back into you. And you're going to be able to overcome whatever there is that needs to be overcome. Don't think that your life or your happiness is set in that of someone else. Because if you do that, you're giving somebody an awful lot of power. You're giving them too much power. You're giving them too much control to think that, hey, I'm nothing unless I have someone in my life. If I don't have love in my life, you got to learn to love yourself. You got to learn to be comfortable with you and be happy with you. What else you got? You got nothing if you're going to leave it over to somebody else. Because if that person walks away, then you're devastated. Oh, my life is over. They're gone. Really? No. Your life does not depend on another person. Because all this, from 2:33 in the morning all the way to 6:19 this afternoon, it's about the moon, your emotions. So you need to check yourself. What is it? You need to learn to love yourself and take care of you. And anything that comes in your path as a blockage or a stumbling block or a challenge, meet it head on. Because the square to here is what your purpose in life is to be happy. Just be happy. Be a loving person. Be a giving person. And it will all come back to you so much more over. You will not believe how happy you're going to be. Like I said, I hope y'all all been doing some spiritual work here. I really do. Because you're going to need it. Because Satan is strong out there right now, buddy. He is trying to destroy us left and right. And you got to fight the fight. Now, at 6:40, remember I said at 6:19, right here, when the moon was in opposition with Neptune, you got to clear out the illusion, the fog. Because remember, Neptune is about the fog. That glamour and illusion, that's negative. You know, when you idolize stars, you know, Hollywood actors and singers and rappers and all this kind of stuff, and you put them up on this high pedestal, you know, their little Emmys and their Oscars, and they're on that little platform. Why are you worshiping these people? You are just as important as they are. They don't live in the real world. They can't take all that stuff with them when they leave here. And they got to answer for all their ugliness and what they're doing. There is so much going on out there right now. It's unbelievable what these people think they can get away with. So, you know, now, this right now is like here with Mars in Capricorn, and it's trying Neptune as well. It's trying Uranus. There's going to be, because the midheaven is going to be there, and it's feeding something from the universe, is feeding. From above, something's feeding into this world. And y'all better get prepared. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because number one, we got this square, again, with Mars and Mercury. And like I said, this has to do with Mars and Capricorn trying Uranus here. And there's something about health. Getting healthy. Loving yourself. Taking care of yourself. You can't take care of nobody else until you take care of yourself and love yourself. You can't love anyone else until you can know what real love is. And when you love yourself, then you know how to love someone else. Next thing we have is this trine. Again, clearing out the illusions. Because I'm telling you, Satan is out there presenting. When I want y'all to visualize something for me. I want you to visualize that Seven of Cups. And now people call this, a lot of readers will call this options. Okay? Oh, you've got options out there. Oh, look at those cups, what's in them? No, it's an illusion. Do you see it's coming from above? Do you see that there is this cloud? And all it is a promise of something here. And no one, and one of them is a snake. One of them is a castle. I'll give you all this. And that's Lucifer saying, that Lucifer's rectangle, I'll give you all this if you just bow down and follow me. And people are doing it. There are people out there that have been paying people to do terrible things. Burning buildings, stealing from stores, all this stuff. And they've been paying them to do it. And believe you me, they're going to have to pay the price of it. That is their karma they're creating. And the best example I can give to you is when the Lord had went and was baptized in the Jordan water. As he came up, John the Baptist raised him up. He saw a dove being released. The peace that he was with, one with the Lord then. He went on his pilgrimage into the desert and fasted. And doggone it, if Lucifer didn't come in there and tempt him and tempt him and tempt him constantly. And so that's what that is. You see the dark shadow, the dark entity there. You think that is really good when you're seeing something black, dark? That's a dark entity trying to gamble or make a deal with you for your soul. That is not, there's no illumination there. It's empty promises. Oh, I'll fulfill this for you. I fulfill that for you. Oh, I want to give you. Satan can't give you nothing. Not a single thing can he give you. So he presents something glamour. And you hear it all about in Hollywood right now, about people selling their souls for fame. I know y'all have been hearing it. I know you've been seeing it on YouTube. The people have been selling themselves and selling their souls for fame and fortune. Go look it up. It's all over. I've seen it. I know it's been around for a long time. So stop putting stars on pedestals. They're selling their souls for that fame and fortune. Because they want the easy road. Who doesn't? But I'm going to tell you right now, nobody gets the easy road. Nobody gets an easy road. Freedom is not, it comes with a price. Even this country was founded on that being able to have that freedom of expression. But we had to fight for it. Freedom doesn't come and just given to you. We got to look at leaders who are willing to stand up and fight for us. And we, as a collective group, have to stand up in righteousness. and fight for our own freedom. We're there now. This is it, y'all. This is it. We have to stand up and fight for our own freedom. And the only thing that's always been said, that we could change the world. Remember Michael Jackson's song, We Are the World? We as people can change the world. And it's by loving the world. It's by loving people, being humanitarian, being empath, and doing good for others that are less fortunate. Giving away clothes that we can't wear anymore. Giving away shoes that might be needed by others that can use them. Coats. That's why it says in scripture, if somebody needs, steals your jacket or whatever, let them have it. Because you're going to be rewarded double over. They're the ones that's going to suffer, not you, because that coat's not going to last forever, because what? It's materialistic. And you're going to be blessed here. You see people out on YouTubes that are going out there and they're seeing homeless and people, and they're buying them a Happy Meal, not a Happy Meal, but they're buying them, food. They're giving them food. If it's just a burger for the day, or if it's for this, or a plate of food, a meal that they haven't had. Do something kind for somebody. See what you can do for them. But do it out of the goodness of your heart. Not that because you're going to receive something back for it. Like it was always said, don't say prayers out. And you've seen people in church and they just pray and pray and pray. Or you'll hear people say, pray for me, blah, blah. No. Your prayers should be between you and God, the Almighty. Go to your room, go to your closet, go to your prayer room and pray between you and Him. Spend that one-on-one time with Him. Tell Him your sorrows. Tell Him your woes. Tell Him your troubles. Say, Lord, I can't do this alone. I did. And He brought me such a peace in my life that I cannot explain. And He took care of it. Because I'm going to show you what's coming here is this finger of God. He knows. He knows what's coming up. This ascending that's in this 5th house, He's going to give you the strength to face whatever this is. Say, Lord, I need most of the time what I ask for is I ask for God's strength to endure whatever it is I have to endure that's coming. Just give me the strength, Lord, to see me through it. And then I also pray for knowledge. Give me the knowledge. Because with knowledge, that is so much wealth. Give me the knowledge I seek to deal what I have to do. And you can see, with this finger of God, there's this sextile here. And what did I say? The sextile represents. It's an opportunity for success at something here. But you got to activate your mind to be able to receive. You do. You got to believe and you got to have faith in something you can't touch, you can't see, you can't hear, or at least you think you can't hear. But believe you me, He talks to us all the time when you do it. When you're totally devoted to Him, and you have that devotion, and he knows, you can see him pointing right at, here, I'm going to give you the strength. I'm going to give you the knowledge that you seek here for your purpose. I'm going to bring you what you want. I'm going to give you what you want. So I keep my prayers personal. I know what mine was. I can see by this right now the Lord's going to answer my prayer. And thank you, Lord Jesus, for that. Always when you give your prayers, know and act and think it's already been answered. It's already going to be given. You just don't know when it's coming. And I can see right now the strength's going to be given to me. My prayers are going to be answered. I glorify him. He glorifies me. And that's what counts. That's what matters. And there's a shaking coming. I love it. When I start thinking about him, I get excited and you know, what he's doing for me, what he's done for me, and all this. I just get so glorified. It's just, I feel like the time when I had the Holy Spirit touch me. And, you know, if you know anything about Scripture, you know when the disciples received the Holy Spirit, when Christ told them to wait for the Holy Spirit to fall upon them, and they waited, and when it came, you saw they were so exuberant. They were just, talking in all different tongues, and the fire that was around them. You can feel it, that energy. And you will feel like you cannot touch the ground. I'm telling you. No matter what you're going through, no matter what the challenge is, no matter what the struggle is that's here, no matter what's trying to block your path, what's trying to get in your way, what's trying to steal your strength away from you. Because this T-square is dealing with the past squaring, Mars squaring the past node, and Mars squaring the future. So whatever is trying to steal your energy or steal or put those stumbling blocks, those oppositions in your way, there's something going to come. I'm telling you, there's something that's going to come out of the past for all of us that's going to try and block our path. And I ain't having it. You know, it's like you seen those people where people give them a lottery card and they think they've won or whatever, and they get all excited, and all of a sudden the person starts laughing and say, ha ha ha, it's a joke. And you see this person's face just fall apart, like, really? Really? Do you know what that person was? That's cruel. That's like blessings just being bestowed upon you, and Satan comes in and just takes it away. And he will. He don't want you to have God's blessings. He don't want you to have God's rewards. He don't want you to be blessed. He wants to take your purpose in life away. And you can't let him do it. You got to fight those temptations that come along. Because he's out to steal your desires. He's out to steal your strength. He's out to steal your happiness. And you cannot let him do it. And you're going to have to work through these challenges. And you're going to have strong, you're going to have strength, you're going to have faith, because it's going to be difficult. And you're going to have to work a plan out here about how, whatever it is, you're going to devote yourself to and think. That's what Mercury's all about. And Gemini's all about. Thinking. Sorting out something here and making a plan and getting started when this New moon happens. It's going to be in Aquarius at 20 degrees. You'll have perfect insight. You'll have that perfect vision. You'll see it if you're doing the work. And you're getting it together. This is a perfect timing for this to happen. That new moon is going to be on February the 9th at exactly 6 p.m. on the East Coast. You have to adjust it to your time. And it's going to be at 2020. And I love this because it's like perfect vision. And the time's going to be 40:40. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I mean, that's just awesome to me. Doubling of the vision. But you can't give in to temptation. You can't. You got to fight that off. Because you can see also the moon in a trine with Neptune. Neptune, both the moon and the midheaven, is like, you got to avoid this temptation. You got to be authentic. You got to be real. You got to have strength to fight that gate of hell. Do not let yourself be tempted. Depart from it. Say, no, thank you. Not what I want. That's what you got to do. That moon's at 0, 18 minutes in, and so is Pluto. 0, 18 minutes in. It's like a pre-warning here that something is going to come and going to tempt you. It's going to try and stroll a stumbling block in there, and I'm pre-warning you now that it's going to try and steal your victory. It's going to try and steal your success, and you've got to say no to it. I want healthy, everybody wants healthy relationships. Well, go to those healthy relationships. They're coming. They're coming. You just got to have faith and believe. The Father only gives good things. Any father would give a child good things. We got 1 day and 11 hours before these nodes go direct. So right now you're just reassessing something here that you've been feeling. Looking back over something that you've been feeling like you're missing something maybe. Or something from the past. You're re-experiencing the emotions of maybe a broken relationship or something here. We all have our down times. But there's going to be something that's going to be coming on the 30th, and that's tomorrow at 7:04 Eastern Standard Time in the morning at right around sunrise. Matter of fact, hold on. I'll tell you exactly. All right. I had to get my phone here. All right. On the 30th, 7:04. Tomorrow's going to be ruled. The day's going to be ruled. The next 24 hours will be ruled by Mars. The sun. Hold on a minute. What I'm looking for. tomorrow. Don't rain on my parade. This is today, Tuesday. All right, Tuesday. Sunrise will be at 7:21 on the East Coast. Whoops. I hate when it does that. Sunrise will be at 7:21 and sunset will be at 5:50. The moon will rise at 10:29 and the moon will set at 9:59, which kind of explains why the, you know. So anyway, um, but the sun will rise at 7:21, and I said that uh Uranus starts its direct movement at 7:04, right before sunrise. So that's a good thing. That is a good thing. So we know it's going to be moving now. And let's see, what's it got there? We will have 215 days and 6 hours before it will go retrograde again. That's almost a good portion of the year. Venus won't go retrograde until next year. That's a good thing. Mars will end up going retrograde before the year's out, or the end of the year. And we got 93 days and 9 hours before Pluto begins to go retrograde again, which it goes to 2 degrees and then it moves back into Capricorn. Its final time at 29 degrees, and it'll sit there at 29 degrees. It'll go stationary, and it'll begin the process of moving forward. So just look at 93 days and 9 hours that it'll begin its retrograde. And usually when it starts the retrograde, it starts all the other planets going retrograde as well. One right after the other will start going. So we'll finish out the year with planets in retrograde, but they will come back again and go direct next year. So anyway, I hope this helped you some. The biggest thing I got for this here is don't give in to temptation. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up the struggle. Don't give up on your dreams and plans. Yeah, we have to look at our emotions. We have to open our hearts to receive. And we got to devote ourselves to a purpose in life. You can't just wander around like a daggum zombie and thinking that everything's going to work out. You just can't live from moment to moment. That's not living. That's not life. You weren't put here on this earth just to live for the moment. People come and go. Things come and go. And you've got to have a purpose and you got to be dedicated to something. And it's usually, we got to do what we can for one another in humanity and being kind. Sometimes somebody just needs a kind word, or somebody just needs somebody to hear, to listen, and see what they're going through. So that's kind of the message I got for y'all. And anyway, y'all take care, and thank you for being with me, and I will see you on the other side. So bye for now.